In the night, in Naji's private chamber, his two commanders, who shared in both his death and secrets, were sitting with him, drinking alcohol. Naji said, "The passion of youth is there, but I will cool it down in a few days. The wretch who says that by the oath of the Lord of the Kaaba, I will drive the Crusaders out of the Islamic State and then take a breath of peace." One commander remarked, "Does Salahuddin Ayyubi not even realize that the Islamic Sultanate has already been dismantled? Now the Sudanese will rule." The other commander asked Naji, "Didn't you tell him that this army of 50,000 is Sudanese and that this army, which he thinks of as his soldiers, will not fight against the Crusaders?" Naji responded, "Are you in your senses? I have convinced him that these 50,000 Sudanese lions will crush the enemies at his command." But Naji went silent and started thinking deeply. Then he asked, "But what?" Naji said, "He has commanded me to prepare a separate army from Egypt. He said that relying on just one country's army won't be wise. He wants to recruit Egyptians and include them in our forces." The commander asked, "So, what did you tell him?" Naji answered, "I said his orders would be obeyed, but I don't agree with such policies." The commander asked, "How is his temperament?" Naji replied, "He seems very stubborn." The second commander remarked, "In front of your wisdom and experience, he seems like nothing. He's just a newly appointed leader, intoxicated by his power. This high will fade in a few days." Naji replied, "I won't let this intoxication fade. I'll let him remain drunk on this power and then destroy him while he's lost in it." For a long time, the three of them kept talking against Salahuddin Ayyubi and deliberating over what actions they would take if Salahuddin posed a threat to Naji's undisputed rule. Meanwhile, Salahuddin was seated across from some people, explaining his stance. He made it clear that he neither came to rule nor would he let anyone else misuse power. He stated that his interest lay solely in the military strength of the region. He also expressed his dissatisfaction with the current military structure, highlighting that the 50,000 Sudanese bodyguards were insufficient. He suggested giving locals from every region the right to join the army, demonstrate their valor, and claim their rightful share of the spoils of war. Only then could the common people and villages of the region prosper. Salahuddin Ayyubi informed them, "I have already instructed Naji to initiate an open recruitment process." One official asked him, "Are you sure Naji will follow your orders?" Ayyubi asked, "Will he not follow through with the orders?" The official replied, "He might not follow through, but Naji isn't one to take orders from anyone. He only enforces his own will." Salahuddin remained silent, as though the statement didn't affect him at all. He dismissed everyone and kept only Ali bin Sufyan by his side. Ali bin Sufyan was an expert in espionage and counter-espionage. Salahuddin Ayyubi had brought him along from Baghdad. He was a man skilled in deception, disguise, and the art of changing appearances. He had conducted espionage during battles and had also captured enemy spies. He was so skilled in his craft that it was said he could even pluck stars from the sky. Salahuddin Ayyubi greatly valued the importance of intelligence and espionage. Apart from his technical expertise, Ali shared the same passion and zeal as Salahuddin himself. Salahuddin said, "Did you hear, Ali? They claim that Naji doesn't take orders from anyone and only imposes his own will." Ali bin Sufyan replied, "Yes, I heard. If my recognition of faces isn't mistaken, then in my opinion, this commander of the bodyguards named Naji is an unholy, cunning person. I already know a few things about him. These soldiers who are paid from our treasury are in fact loyal to Naji's group rather than to us. There have been such suggestions in governance that have significantly weakened the structure. Your decision is completely mature. to allow every local soldier to join the army here. I will provide you with detailed information. I suspect that the Sudanese soldiers are loyal to Naji, not to us. You will have to reorganize and restructure this army or remove Naji from his position. Salahuddin Ayyubi responded, I do not want to create enemies within my own ranks. Naji is a house dog. Removing him from his position and turning him into an enemy is not wise. Our swords are meant for our external foes, not for shedding the blood of our own people. I can change Naji's mindset through love and compassion. You must try to understand the loyalty of these soldiers and give me accurate information on how far their loyalty lies with us. Naji was not a simple-minded man. His mind was free from the constraints of love and compassion. If he loved anything, it was his own power and malevolence. In this respect, he was like a stone, hard and unyielding. However, when it came to those he wanted to entrap in his web, he could become as soft as wax. He adopted the same demeanor with Salahuddin Ayyubi. He never sat as an equal in front of Salahuddin, always agreeing with him, only to leave and pursue his own agenda. He had begun recruitment for the new army, even though it was against his will. Days went by, and Salahuddin Ayyubi began to trust Naji more and more. Naji had assured him that the Sudanese bodyguards in the army were loyal to him and would meet the expectations of the people. Naji had approached Salahuddin Ayyubi 2 or 3 times, expressing his desire to host a banquet on behalf of the bodyguards, who were eager to honor Salahuddin. However, due to his busy schedule, Salahuddin Ayyubi had been unable to accept the invitation. It was nighttime. Naji was in his room, drinking with his 2 junior commanders. 2 dancers, draped in sensual minimal clothing that barely covered their bodies, were performing seductively to the rhythm of the music, their movements as mesmerizing as precious jewels. They wore no anklets or ornaments, relying solely on their captivating expressions and alluring gestures to entertain. In the midst of this indulgent gathering, one of Naji's confidants entered the room and whispered something into his ear. When Naji was deep into his wine and revelry, no one dared to disturb him unless it was truly urgent. Only his closest aides knew the kind of critical matter that could pull Naji away from such a scene. Otherwise, no one would dare to intrude on his gathering. Without hesitation, Naji left the room as soon as he heard the matter and was led by the doorman to another room. Inside was an old man dressed in a Sudani suit, sitting with a young woman. When the woman saw Naji, she stood up. Naji, impressed by her beauty and elegant stature, carefully assessed her. Women were not just objects of indulgence for him. He used them for various purposes. One of his strategies was to control high-ranking officers through exceptionally beautiful and cunning women. Another purpose was to use them for blackmailing wealthy individuals and officials. He even involved them in espionage. Just as a snake can instantly sense the meat quality of its prey, Naji had an innate ability to judge the potential of a woman for specific tasks merely by looking at her. Traders and brokers who dealt in women often brought their merchandise to Naji, and this man appeared to be one of them. The man described the girl as experienced, skilled in dancing, and capable of turning a stone into water with the sweet venom of her words. Naji conducted a detailed interview with her, as he was an expert in such matters. During the interview, he tested the girl in various ways and concluded that she was perfectly suited for the tasks he had in mind. He was preparing another girl for a specific task. This girl would be ready with a bit of training. The deal was finalized, the payment was made, and the broker left. Naji took the girl to the room where his two companions were indulging in dance and alcohol. Naji asked the girl to dance. When she began, shedding her veil and moving gracefully, both Naji and his companions were captivated. The two other dancers in the room paled in comparison, as this new girl completely overshadowed them. Naji immediately dismissed the gathering and asked everyone to leave, keeping the girl with him. He asked for her name, and she introduced herself as Sekoy. Naji told her, "The one who brought you here mentioned that you can turn stone into water. I want to see this miracle of yours." Sekoy asked, "Who is this stone?" Naji replied, "The new leader of the Egypt, the great commander Salahuddin Ayyubi." She asked, "Salahuddin Ayyubi?" Naji laughed and said, "Yes, Salahuddin Ayyubi. If you can turn him into water, I will lay gold at your feet equal to his weight." Sekoy then asked, "Does he drink alcohol?" Naji replied, "No, he doesn't drink, nor does he indulge in women or dance. He despises music and entertainment as much as any Muslim despises pork." Sekoy said, "I heard you possess a charm with women that can even stop the flow of the Nile. Has that magic worn off?" Naji replied, "Not yet. I haven't tested it recently. But this task you can accomplish. I will tell you many things about Salahuddin Ayyubi's habits." Sekoy asked, "Do you plan to poison him?" Naji responded, "Not yet. I have no enmity with him. All I want is for him to fall, even once, for a woman like you. Then I will have him sit with me and drink wine. If killing him were my goal, I could have easily arranged for it through assassins. I do not seek enmity. I seek friendship with him." Hearing this unexpected statement, Sekoy gazed at Naji for a few moments. She was sharper and more intelligent than he had anticipated. Naji ran his hand through her soft hair and said, "Yes, Sekoy, I want to befriend him. A friendship so deep that he becomes my companion in food and drink. Beyond that, I know exactly what I need from him." After thinking for a moment, Naji added, "But I should warn you, Salahuddin Ayyubi holds a certain magic in his hands. If his magic works on your beauty and youth, then I will not let you live. If you betray me, you won't survive more than a day. Salahuddin Ayyubi won't be able to save you from death. Your life and death are in my hands. You cannot deceive me. That is why I have spoken to you openly. Otherwise, a man of my stature and rank would never discuss such things with a courtesan or a woman during the first meeting." Sekoy replied, "Time will tell who deceives whom. For now, tell me how I will be presented to Salahuddin Ayyubi." Naji said, "I am inviting him to a celebration. He will stay here for the night, and I will ensure you enter his chambers during his sleep. This is the very reason I called you." Sekoy said, "I will handle everything from that point onward." The night passed, and several more nights followed. Salahuddin Ayyubi remained deeply engrossed in managing his armies and preparing new troops, leaving him no time to accept Naji's invitation. Meanwhile, the reports Sufyan provided about the courtesans troubled him. He discussed the matter with Ali bin Sufyan, saying, "This means that this person is even more dangerous than that." Ali bin Sufyan said, "He is a snake whose fangs are hidden under a sleeve of a deceptive fabric." Ali bin Sufyan told about Naji's activities in detail, that how he had taken control of so many influential people and acted with disregard in administrative matters. Then he said that Sudanese army that he is general of is our enemy and their loyalty is with him. Can you think of any solution for this? Salahuddin Ayyubi replied, I don't just think about it. I have already started the solution. The soldiers coming from Egypt, I will mix them with Sudanese guards. And then this army will be neither Sudanese nor Egyptian. Naji's power will be scattered and absorbed into our army. I will bring Naji to his rightful place. Ali bin Sufyan responded, and I can also confirm that he has made alliances with Crusaders as well. You aim to bring strength to the Islamic Sultanate and provide everything to Islam, but Naji is turning your dream into the dream of a madman. Salahuddin Ayyubi replied, "What are you doing in this regard?" Ali bin Sufyan answered, "Leave that to me. Whatever I do, I will keep you informed along the way. Rest assured, I have captured his spy in a wall of defense so strong that even its eyes are alert, and it is unyielding. Understand that I have trapped him in the web of my espionage." Salahuddin had so much trust in Ali bin Sufyan that he did not ask about the details of his covert actions. Ali asked him, "I have heard that he is inviting you to a celebration. If this is true, then accept his invitation when I tell you to." Salahuddin Ayyubi took a deep breath, paused and said, "Son of Sufyan, life and death are in the hands of Allah. What is the purpose of life? Is it not better for a person to die as soon as they are born? Sometimes I think that perhaps those who have no nation or role in life are fortunate. They live easily and die on their own terms." Ali bin Sufyan said, "They are unfortunate, sir." Salahuddin Ayyubi replied, "Yes, Ibn Sufyan. When I call them fortunate, I wonder who whispers in my ear the thoughts you have. But I think that if we do not change the course of history at this moment, we may find ourselves seeing Islam disintegrate into the wilderness and chaos. The Khilafah will disintegrate into three parts. The leaders are acting arbitrarily and becoming the servants of the cross. I have started to feel that if Muslims remain alive, they will always be slaves to the cross and its masters. They will be happy only because they are alive, but as a nation, they will be dead. Look at the map, Ali, how much it has shrunk in this era." He became silent, lowered his head, and started walking. Then he stopped, shook his head, and said to Ali bin Sufyan, "When the evil rises from within, it becomes impossible to stop it. If our caliphate continues like this, the cross will no longer need to fight against us. The fire in which we are burning our faith and character, they will slowly keep adding oil to it. Their conspiracies will keep making us fight amongst ourselves. I may not complete my mission. I may even be defeated by the cross, but I want to leave a legacy for the nation. It is this: never trust a non-Muslim. If you have to fight against them, fight and die. Never make a compromise or agreement with a non-Muslim." Ali bin Sufyan said, "Your tone suggests that you have become disheartened with your mission." Salahuddin Ayyubi replied, "Not disheartened, but emotional. I have a command. Reach it to the relevant department as soon as possible. Speed up the recruitment and try to recruit as many experienced soldiers as possible. We don't have much time. It is essential that the recruits are Muslim. Also, prepare a group of spies who can infiltrate enemy territory, gather intelligence, and also create chaos. These will be brave warriors, and you must train them to endure prolonged thirst like camels. Their vision should be as sharp as a hawk's, and their agility should resemble that of desert foxes. They should be skilled in attacking like cheetahs, possess courage and strength, and have no habits of drinking alcohol or using hashish. For women, they should be as cold as ice. The number of people should be few, but they must have a strong Ammatic spirit and understand my cause. No one should doubt the reason for their fighting. In the next 10 days, thousands of well-trained troops joined the Egyptian army. During those 10 days, Naji trained Sekoy on how she could entrap Salahuddin Ayyubi in the web of her beauty and weaken his personality and character using various methods. Naji's confidence, seeing Sekoy's beauty and charm, remarked with deep concern that if Egyptian pharaohs had seen this girl, even they would have discarded the claims of being gods. Naji's espionage system was very efficient and sharp, and he had discovered that Ali bin Sufyan was a trusted advisor of Salahuddin Ayyubi. He had even sent his spies behind Ali and was plotting to have Ali bin Sufyan killed. However, Naji was preparing to trap Salahuddin, but he couldn't foresee that the girl from Morocco had become his own weakness. She was not just charming in appearance. Her presence carried such magic that Naji often found himself conversing with her. He had turned his attention away from the two dancers who had once pleased him. For the past few nights, he had not called those girls to his room. Naji was like a hen laying eggs in someone else's possession. He was now captivated by this girl, who had begun to lay eggs in the arms of another. The other two dancers started devising a plan to remove her. Ultimately, they reached the conclusion that she should be killed. However, killing her didn't seem feasible because the room Naji had given her was guarded by two guards. Additionally, the two girls who were with her couldn't leave the house, as Naji had given them strict instructions. They began gaining the trust of one of the women from the servants and started working through her. She was willing to poison her with her hands. Ali bin Sufyan had ordered Salahuddin Ayyubi's guards to be replaced. These guards were former bodyguards of commander of the Egypt. In their place, he selected new guards from those recruited in the recent recruitment process, forming a group of brave warriors, all of whom, in terms of spirit, were ready to die for him. Naji did not like this change at all, but he praised it in front of Salahuddin Ayyubi. He even requested Salahuddin Ayyubi to accept his invitation and responded that he would let him know about his decision within a day. When will he be able to accept the invitation? After consulting with Ali bin Sufyan, Salahuddin Ayyubi asked when he could accept the invitation. Ali bin Sufyan advised him that he could accept the invitation any day now.